What up, dum-dums? It's me, Ali Macofsky. I have a sty in my eye, I think, so that's why I'm wearing the shades. It's actually not that bad. I had one that was really bad the other day. It looked like I was kind of winking at everyone. It was like super heavy. It looked like, a Rocky movie when they cut to him after the first round. It was really bad. It's not that bad today, but I do like these glasses, so any excuse for me to wear them. I'll keep getting styes my whole life if it means I can wear these inside. I love when old people, like my mom or something, wears her sunglasses inside of a restaurant. She goes, "They're prescription. I can't find my clear ones. These ones are prescription." That's how I am. But yeah. I don't know why I keep getting styes. I'm like, is it because I'm dirty? Is it because my environment is dirty? Am I just not meant to have clean eyes? I don't know. If you're wondering what a sty is, it's like, imagine if getting just regular acne wasn't good enough. It's pretty much like you have one... I feel like that's a bad way of describing it. Because sometimes it is like one bump on your eye that just gets big. But sometimes it's just like recently it was just like my whole eyelid was just fat and like swollen. Like it really looked like a ball sack. Cause it was, it almost was like discolored from like the other eye and the rest of my face, and it was just like kind of wrinkly and puffy. It wasn't good. It was not a good look. But yeah, so my eyes are getting dirty. I think it's because I moved around all of the furniture in my room, and my room is just filled with dust. Just always. It's so dusty. I don't know why. And there's only so much Swiffering you can do. Am I going to have to Swiffer every single day just so there's not dust? And you know what else I have to do? I've lived in the same place for like almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years in November. And it's the dustiest place ever. I don't leave the windows open or the blind. Like, my room's always like pretty dark. And then it's always dusty. But the big issue that I have with it is that the baseboard, like the floorboard, what's that called? The floorboard. The nice little crown molding, I think is what it's called. I haven't been watching that much HGTV lately, so my terms are a bit off. But, where the wall meets the floor, it's kind of raised. There's like a gap, like a quarter could slide underneath the wall. That's not supposed to happen. And there's, sometimes there's some daddy long legs. Some big old daddies in there. Long leg daddies, and I need to caulk it. And I know you perverts out there going, oh, what do you need to do? I need to caulk it. I need to caulk that shit. Get a big old caulk. Yeah, I need to caulk it though, because there's a gap in between the floor and the fucking wall. That should be illegal. They shouldn't have been able to open that house and sell it. Because now what? You want me to go to Home Depot and caulk it? I don't know. I don't even know how to say caulk the right way. I think I'm overdoing it on the L so these perverts don't get boners. My mom said she would help me caulk it, and I was like, oh shit. This is a popular category on Pornhub. Mom helps daughter caulk. Helps her daughter with caulk. Maybe I'll film it and then put it out with that caption. Mom helps horny daughter caulk. Yeah, so I have to do that. I'm just not good with the arts and crafts of home renovation. It would be fun though, but then I have to like move things around in my room again. Everything's too heavy. My friend gave me her old TV, which is like it wasn't even a generous gift. It's such a big TV. And not in like a way of me being like, oh, like, you know how some people do that? They just annoyingly like brag. It's like a humble brag, but not even humble. It's just an annoying. They try and pass it off as it's like something annoying. Oh, it's such a big TV. This one's like chunky. It's not that it's like, wow, I can't believe my friend gave me this nice brand new flat screen. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. No, this is like a big fat, like I had to move it across my room the other day and it was so heavy. But I did it because your girl's strong as hell. But yeah, it doesn't even feel like a gift. It's so inconvenient to have because I have a small room. So this TV just takes up way too much space. And you know what's fucked up about it? I don't know if I've said this on the podcast before, but if I'm watching it at night, the TV's so big and fat and wide and just dense and girthy. It's a chode of a TV. If I'm watching it at night and I don't turn it off or like have a sleep timer on, I'm getting full-on radiation from this for sure. It heats up my whole room. This TV is producing so much heat and like static. It's probably not good for me at all. It fills my room up with heat because it's so big and my room is so small. That's for sure radiation, right? That can't be good for me. I should throw it out. I want to watch stuff though. I just need a smaller TV. Whatever, one day. The first big thing I bought with like comedy money, like the first time I got paid like a reasonable amount of money to do comedy was when I was like, I think either like a year or like almost a year into comedy, and Russell Peters let me do a guest spot opening for him, which is like unheard of. I did not do well. I was way too new. His audiences are all like, you know, rich Middle Eastern people. And then I'm just like this corny little white girl. And it was like a lot of like families and couples, and I just wasn't equipped or prepared for that. Because I was used to just doing like comedy store shows and like, you know, a mix of people. Not that there's not a mix of people at his shows, but it is a lot of like Persian, hot, rich couples. And then I'm like, so white guys are weird, right? And they're like, we just want to see Russell. I wonder how I would do opening for him now. Probably much better. But yeah, that was a rough time. But anyway, it was the first time I got paid more than like $10 in a drink ticket for comedy. And the first thing I bought with comedy money was a bed frame. Because for like, you know, wow, the loudest sigh from Anthony, my producer. He couldn't be less impressed with this story. He couldn't be more bored with my story. Okay, thanks Anthony for that loud sigh. Really giving me the confidence I need to push through the next 40 minutes of this fucking thing. You think I want to be here? I should be the one sighing, okay? The audacity. You know how many people hit me up to produce this podcast? 2. There's 2 people who are interested in doing it. Do you think they would be sighing? No, I don't think so. I think they would be completely naked when they showed up to help me with the first podcast, but they would be excited. They would be fully erect. And you're just flaccid, taking this for granted. I bought a bed frame. Wow, this is a riveting story. I get to sigh. Remember Psy, the South Korean guy, the Gangnam Style guy? We all thought he was gonna really just keep it going with the hits, and then nowhere to be found. He's probably doing opium. Probably doing opium. yeah, so I bought a bed frame. I was sleeping on the floor, and you know what? I think it changed my mental attitude, because when you're sleeping on the floor, after a certain amount of time, you feel like you deserve it. Like, that's where you belong. Not that I was sleeping just like with a comforter on the floor. Like, you know, I had a bed, but it was on the floor. You're just sleeping so close to the floor. I think you need a bed frame. It elevates your mood and your lifestyle. If I was like one of the Queer Eye guys, like, you know how one of them does like the outfits, and one of them does the hair, and one of them does the entire fucking house, I would just like be the bed frame person. That would be my role. I'd be like, let's get you a bed frame that is, you know, similar to you. I've had the same bed I'm about to get a new bed. Just more riveting content I'm talking about on here. I'm about to get a new bed. My sister's moving to Arizona, and I'm getting her bed. Your flashlight's on. That's so funny. I love when people have their flashlight on their phone and they don't know it. That's what you get for fucking sighing mid-pod. Oh, I'm about to get a new bed. My bed's so bad. There's like lumps in the bed. It's not good. I have one of those like 1-inch foam toppers. Those don't work. That's just trapping in all of the... That's probably why I have so many styes in my eye this week. From that little yellow... Remember when you were at someone's house for a sleepover and one of their parents busted out one of those foam toppers? You're like, I'm good. I'd rather just sleep on the floor. Those things are nasty. I have one of those. That doesn't do anything for me. It's a bad bed. Especially with all the plowing I do on it. But it really is bad. I flip it, I twist it, I do all the things you're supposed to do to a bed, and it's always bad. There's like just a big dent in it. So I'm getting a new bed, which I think my sister's giving me her bed. But I'm gonna get all new, like, mattress stuff, like, duvet cover, all of that, because mine looks like a murder happened there a long time ago, and I was able to get most of the blood out, but not all of it. I have white sheets, and you can tell that they're white, but a large portion of the middle is like this off-white color, and no matter how many times I wash it and bleach it, it's just not... Yeah, it looks like I'm covering something up. So I need to get new sheets and stuff, new linens. I remember my old stepmom, there's not really a word to call it once your stepmom and father get separated. It's like, is it my ex-stepmom? Because if I say my old stepmom, it either sounds like I'm saying she's old, or it sounds like I'm saying she has since passed on. But it just didn't work out. I don't know how to say that, but she was obsessed with like a bed skirt. I feel like stepmoms are always into like bed accessories. Like, I remember once my dad and her started dating, I started getting so many different pillows for my bed. I had like one body pillow all of a sudden. I had one of those ones that like hugs you from the back. It's like, it has like a back support, but it's a pillow and it has those arm things. It's like what you get when you're going away to college. But those aren't really that nice. I don't know. But yeah, a lot of bed accessories once she moved in. Kind of opened my eyes to the bedding world. Yeah. Just some dead air for a second while I think about, you know, what life was like with a stepmom. My mom's never really brought any gentleman into my life, so I don't know what it would be like to have a stepdad, but I do have a lot of sad older male friends because of comedy, so I kind of feel like in a way I have a lot of stepfathers. but never officially. I think it would be tight if my mom boned one of my older male comic friends. Not like, I mean, maybe successful, but I just picture it being more like an unknown, a less known male comic. So, yeah, see, someone who, like, I could say his name on this podcast and you'd have to, like, find him based on who I'm following on Instagram. And then there'd be, like, 2 options and you wouldn't be sure who's who. But yeah. My dad just got shoulder surgery. So now he has some plastic ass shoulder. He's like, come down and visit me. Do what? Massage your shoulder? No thanks. I should visit him, but it's really, you know, not at the top of the food chain for me at this moment. I talk to him regularly. He's fine. You know what? And this is why. It's not because I'm a bad daughter. I love my dad. I love my mom. Love my parents. With my dad, he'll be like, oh, come over. We should go get lunch, catch up. Or he'll be like, I just got shoulder surgery. Like, come visit me. You're a bad daughter. And then I visit him. We talk for 5 minutes. He asks me if I still have car insurance and if my car is clean and if I've been keeping up my car. And then that's all he's got for talking points. That's it. He'll go, oh, are you still writing material for your... My friend loves Joe Rogan. Could we come watch you do a show? That's it. That's it. My dad wanted, when I first did a show with Joe, my dad was like, we want to come to Vegas and watch you. And I'm like, you know, I've been doing this in LA for almost a year now. But as soon as I go to Vegas, all of a sudden, Papa Macofsky wants to come to the show. Oh, now you want to come support your daughter. You don't want to come to the dirty bar shows. This is me for my Lifetime movie about my career. You don't want to come watch me at the bars and at the back alleys. I have done open mics in back alleys. There's one that's called I don't think it's still happening now, but there's an open mic that was like the open mic behind Smart and Final or something like that. It might have been like the open mic behind Big Lots. That's what it was. It was Big Lots. And it was in an alley literally behind Big Lots. And I'm like, what are we doing? Anyway, my dad doesn't want to come to those. And I don't blame him. But also pretend you want to see it a little bit so that way when I do the big ones, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. But also my dad has some weird friends. I don't want them coming to my shows. My dad has such weird friends. All of my dad's friends are like, you know, when your dad, or, you know, like you're over, like your dad has a friend over and you have to hug them. All of them, I'm like, no, I'm good. I actually stopped. My arms don't really hug anymore. They don't go up that high. There's always that friend that friend of your parents that you have to hug. And most of your parents' friends, you're like, oh yeah, we have so many good memories together. Those like joint family vacations or whatever your family did. We didn't have that many. There was always like one that was weird where you're like, I don't want to hug that person. Yeah, there's always a weirdo. That's all of my dad's friends because he just accumulates all of his friends from the cigar shop. And it's not like fancy schmancy cigar shop. It's imagine like if there was a shop for smoking cigarettes, but it's just cigars. That's these people. Anyway, if you're listening to this, can't wait to see you when I hang out with my dad. They're just always there. That's because my dad has roommates. I think I've already discussed this. I don't need to get into my dad has roommates, that whole situation. It's just weird when an adult family member has roommates. You're like, how bad are things? You just picture that at a certain point, that's gonna stop, and then you realize, oh no. That just can come back at any moment. Anyway, this has been, I feel, maybe it's my producer just sighing constantly that's not giving me the confidence that I need, but I'm not feeling good about this episode. Even though I feel like there's been a couple pops. How long have we been recording? Like 20 minutes? Exactly 20 minutes. What else? Okay, what else did I do this week? I went to San Diego twice. Not once, but fucking twice. Now, here's the thing. I dropped out of school in San Diego, so it brings back a lot of memories every time I go back. Many of them not good. But I did a show at this, it's at this place called The Sign of the Whale. They have a downstairs area that is a showroom. They do comedy shows there. It's called The Brig. I don't know why it has its own name. It's the exact same spot, but just downstairs. But it's a great room. The only problem is that it's in San Diego, and I feel like everyone just drinks so much in San Diego. It's just like a fucking party-ass town. And by the time I went on, I was headlining the show. So by the time I went on, everyone's drunk. And there was this dude sitting right in front. Bad vibes. He has the vibes of someone who smells like fresh jack off. You know how there's just some people and they just smell like they recently released a load and didn't wash it off? There's certain people that you shake their hand or you hug them or you just get close to them and you're like, you just jerked off. And you have that energy. It's a weird energy. He was that person. He was wearing a windbreaker inside, and it wasn't like a cool fashion thing. It was just like I don't know, just something off about him. And then he was so drunk, and he was also from New Zealand, so you know, this is a lot of stimulation for him at once, because New Zealand's a small place. So for him, San Diego, that's a lot to take in, and he was drunk. And I was headlining, so at that point, like, if I was doing, like, a 10-minute set or something, I would have just kind of joked around with him, gotten through my set, and been like, oh, that's annoying. But I was doing, like, 30 minutes, and he wasn't going to stop talking. And I'm, like, trying to engage with him at the beginning of the set to, like, give him the attention and the validation that he needed, but then move on. And he wasn't going to move on. Because after I acknowledged him and, like, kind of, like, took a couple silly jabs at him, he just kept talking. After every punchline, he had something to add, which wasn't funny. And there was one joke that I do where I talk about doing jujitsu in case I get raped. And he goes, you wish. And I was like, you're out. You're out, dude. He's sitting right in front. He's not a good time. I know that he's, like, just being silly and whatever, but it was just uncomfortable, and I don't want to have to sit through the next 25 minutes of my set having this dude constantly say stuff to me. Especially after that, like, it wasn't funny and it was gross. I won't stand for that. But it's always awkward, like, having to kick someone out of a show. You know, I haven't mastered the art of doing it, and I hope I don't have to, but I guess it's a good skill to have. But it always leaves such a weird vibe in the room. You really have to, like, figure out how to balance it out, because everyone gets uncomfortable. It feels like when your parents are fighting around the holidays, and you're like, am I getting a divorce for Christmas? Like, how can I repair this relationship between my parents? That's what it feels like. I'm the dad, and the audience is the mom. Or no, the audience would be, like, the kids. I'm the dad, and then whoever I kick out is the mom. And I'm like, you whore, I know you're cheating on me. And I'm like the drunk dad who's, like, abusing the mom. Just is weird. And then you have to just move on and be like, everything's fine. You're gonna get your present still. Yeah, so it's kind of a weird vibe. But then I did fine. it wasn't a memorable set. It wasn't a bad set, but it also, like, I had a couple people who I was friends with in college who were at that show, and it was definitely the type of, here's how it feels. When people who haven't seen me perform come out to a show like that, I just want to tell them, like, hey, it's normally better than this. When you see those Instagram stories of me, like, on stage, rocking out, it's not like this. I'm not delusional thinking that this is rock star stuff. It's just weird, you know, because, like, people think that, I think people have this idea that if you're doing arenas or something, you're just killing all the time. Or maybe they don't. Maybe in my head, I'm, like, super self-conscious of that. Where it's like, just because I'm doing, like, those are just unreal environments. Like, those are so much fun to do. But it's totally different. Doing 10 minutes in front of an arena that's, like, so horny to hear comedy is totally different than doing 30 minutes headlining in front of a room full of strangers who don't really know who I am. Maybe there's, like, 3 people there to see me. But aside from that, it's, like, it's a totally different vibe, you know? So yeah, I didn't, like, kill or anything, but I didn't do bad. It was just, like, those are the worst sets, because it just feels so anticlimactic. You're like, okay, I just did all material that, like, works, but it wasn't. I don't know, man. It's weird. There's so many different sets that you can have, and it really all just depends on how much time you're doing, where it's at, where you are in the lineup. There's so many factors that play. And I think what makes a really good comic is being able to there's so many, I think what makes a really good comic is someone who can do well in almost any scenario. And I think what makes someone do well in almost any scenario is someone who is so true to themselves and doesn't change who they are. But I guess even in that situation, maybe a certain crowd wouldn't like them because they are being themselves. And I'm just being like this, right now I'm like this social chameleon. I'm like, how can I blend in and fit in with this show? And I think the longer I do it, the more I'll just figure out who I am. My sister said I do that too much. I like do something with my snot. Sorry, I have bad allergies, Brittany. I got a dusty room. I can't not snot. I just got a lot of snot. I just want to update you all and let you guys know that I've been having I don't know what I was going to say. I didn't really have... I thought that I was just going to go on something and it was going to be fun, but didn't really have anything to follow up with that. Oh yeah, so that was that was my early San Diego trip. I got my oil changed before because it was I could just tell my car wasn't driving the same. I was like, I need to get my oil changed. I go to this guy who works at the gas station mechanic shop by my house. He's the best. And yeah, I do flirt with him because I think it will help me in the long run and my car. But I wouldn't be he's a good guy. And so what if I'm flirting? My friend was kind of giving me shit the other day because I was flirting with... Not flirting... Yeah, I guess it is flirting, because guys are dumb and they think, like, making eye contact is flirting. I'm just being a little bit more nice to him. And then there was a meter maid who, I was parked in front of the Comedy Store when I was working, and the meter maid came by. And yeah, I was being extra nice to him, so I wouldn't have to pay the meter, and he would let me just park there for free all night. But he's doing a nice thing for me, so I'm going to be extra nice to him. You know how many people try and fight his ass? He's not equipped to handle that. So, sure, maybe I'm being more nice to him than I would another person. But he's being nice to me, So I don't think there's a problem. You know what? I think that's only bad if you're not a nice person and you're a bitch to most people, and then all of a sudden you want to pretend to be the nice person. I'm just giving a little extra sweetener. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think. And who cares if there is? Guess what? I didn't get a ticket that night, so fuck you. Yeah, so me and my mechanic are very friendly. I got a fucking nail in my tire, so he patched that bitch up. I don't know if you've ever watched a tire getting patched, but I would recommend that as a YouTube search. It's pretty interesting. It doesn't seem like it would work or last, but that's what they do. Yeah, you should definitely YouTube a tire getting patched up. Like a nail in a tire. It's very fascinating. And then I went back to San Diego. Oil change, tire patched up. And I went to a music festival called Crossed. I'm not going to say I was a huge fan of the festival. It was a lot of like DJs and house music. Cascade was there. It was in San Diego. So there were a lot of, I ran into someone. I mean, I didn't acknowledge them, but I did walk past them quickly. Someone who was in a frat at my college who didn't treat my friend very kindly. So I quickly, all the guys who were there, it was like a walking Me Too case. I'm like, all of these people have definitely been accused of misconduct, at least. A lot of unbuttoned Hawaiian shirts and those chubbies, those like board shorts that, yeah, it wasn't a good look. A lot of like tight shaved sides with gel on top. Just that look. A lot of that look. It was a weird vibe. But Portugal the Man was headlining. And boy, do I love those boys. They're so good. I've been a fan of them for a while. And then, you know, all of their music is great. They have like the type of, there's some musicians who have an album and there's like 2 songs on the album that you like and that's it. I could listen to a full album of theirs and like every song. Sure, I like some songs better than others, but the whole album, front to back, is banging. And I'd never seen them live. And then I went to the festival, got to watch them live, and it was so good. Like, dude, they're so good. They're so good. Man. Anyway. Got to watch them from backstage. It was so cool. I felt like a Lady Gaga on A Star Is Born. I'm like, if you want me to just like come up and do one song, I'm totally fine with doing that. Yeah, so I went down to San Diego, went to that festival, drove back that night, get home around like 2:30, go to bed by 3, wake up, babysit all day, go to the Comedy Store, work all night. And the grind never stops, baby. I am exhausted. And then I woke up today to record this podcast bright and early. So, yeah, I'm going to take a fat ass nap today in my dusty bed. My dust bed. Okay, I'm going to start answering questions. I think that's the right amount of time to start answering questions. My producer doesn't give a fuck. He's like, wrap it up. You know what happened? He started producing Annie Letterman's podcast. And now he doesn't care about me. I know. He loves me. I'm the OG. I'm the OG. If it weren't for me, Annie wouldn't have even known about him. That is true. Okay. Worst heckler story. I mean, that guy in San Diego was so annoying. That's the worst. Anyone who heckles, people who think that heckling is helping the comic. It's not. Just leave it to yourself. Just don't do it. It's not fun. And also, if you do it once, okay, fine, whatever, I can move on. But if you just keep doing the thing, it's like, you're not, if you want to get booked on the show, talk to the producer. I don't want, it's not your show. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. What's your ideal first date? I don't think there is an ideal first date. I think an ideal first date is a date that you don't even know is a date until after, and you go, oh shit, I think that was a date. If it's planned, there's so much expectation and pressure on a first date. It's better when you just like hang out. Like, I went through this phase when I was on Tinder where when I would meet up with someone, I would say, hey, let's not have this be a date. Let's just hang out and see if we even like hanging out as just friends. And that was nice because there was no expectations and I could just hang out with this person and not feel weird about it. That was the best. What do you think about getting ghosted? Also, do you ghost? Well, I think it's officially October, which is spooky season. I think this is the month where you can ghost on people. If you're ghosting the other 11 months of the year, you should be ashamed of yourself. But October is the perfect time to ghost because then if they hit you up in November, just say, sorry, I was just getting into character for Halloween. I don't ghost. Some might differ. Some men might beg to differ. First jewel rip of the day, baby. It's only gonna go downhill from here. But yeah, I don't think I ghost. I'm pretty honest. And I think it's important to be clear. You know what? Here. I think you have to be a mature adult. There was this guy I was like kind of hooking, we were just like kind of hooking up pretty cash. And we were hooking up like pretty consistently for like 3 weeks. Like consistently hooking up. And I got, my allergies are not good. I'm thinking about what my sister said about me snotting, me sucking up my snot juices. I do make a lot of mouth noises now that I think about it. That's so annoying. Because now it's just going to be in the back of my head. And it's like one of those things where I've just been doing it for so long. Yeah, so there was this guy I was like consistently seeing. We weren't like boyfriend or girlfriend or anything. Just cash, hook up, fun times, cool guy. Hooking up for like 3 or 4 weeks regularly on the reg, getting dick down on the reg. And, you know, a week goes by and I don't really hear from him. And I don't take it personally. I go, oh, like I've been busy. He's probably been busy. But I wanted to know if we were going to keep hooking up or if he was over it. Like, I could have been ghosted, but I was like, or I could just hit him up and say, what's going on? Are we going to hang out again? And by hang out, I mean go to Bone Town. So I just asked him, I said, hey, are we going to hang out again or are you over it? He was like, no, I want to hang out. And then he he told me. Because if not, I want to know if I can make myself available again. I don't want to waste my time. So it's all good. But I mean, if I had asked, like, are we going to hang out again or are you over it? And then he just didn't respond, then that would be so shitty. I would never do that. I think I'd always I'm always pretty honest. I'm an open book. So, yeah, I think it's it's important to be clear. And I think he appreciated me reaching out. I think it's just good to be honest. What is the worst/best thing about doing a podcast? The best thing about doing a podcast is that this only takes an hour of my time. I'm not really sacrificing anything to do it. I just get to show up and record. And here's the thing, if people want to listen to it, it's available to them. They can listen to it. And if they're fans, that's great. And I love that. But if people don't like me or they're not interested in my comedy or what I do, they don't have to listen to it. It's not being... My podcast isn't like that U2 album. You know, it's not just on your phone and you have to listen to it every time you turn your car on and just starts playing automatically. Podcasts are nice because you have the option to either be a fan or not. And if you're a fan, I love you and thank you for being a dummy. Thanks for being a dumb idiot who listens to me and likes me. You know, that's not easy to do, and I appreciate it. The worst thing about doing a podcast is that my producer hates it. I know, I am kind of laying into you. It's silly, though. I don't mean it. Well, no, I do mean it. It does feel like you're not interested, but that's fine. It's not your podcast. It's mine. When are you gonna have Christina P on the show? I wouldn't want her to have to come over here and do this. That would be rude. But I would love to do her mom podcast because I'm a babysitter, so I feel like I could really connect. Dude, I was babysitting yesterday. I don't know if I want to... No, I'm not going to... Well, I'll talk about the babysitting thing, but I was going to mention something else that I don't think is important. I'm babysitting this little baby. She's like 15 months old. She's precious. But yesterday, she grabbed my nipple. Didn't even feel around for it. Babies just know. Babies just know exactly where it is. And she just grabbed so hard. I like slapped her hand. I was like, get the fuck off me. It hurt. Babies are strong. Sometimes she'll bite my finger so hard. It's crazy how strong these babies are. And then I have to clean up her shit. There's always so much shit. And then I don't even eat what she's eating, but I feel like my this is so gross. I feel like my shit suddenly becomes like our shit syncs up. It's not chill. It's just a thing that happens. Like you just, I don't know what it is. My baby's on a keto diet. That bitch loves protein. That bitch loves high protein. She eats avocado, chicken, hummus. I just found out she's into hummus. But yeah, she will not eat like anything else. She hates vegetables. Well, I guess vegetables are keto, but whatever. Fuck it. Okay, what else do I want to... Okay. If your comedy doesn't go the way you'd hope, will you become a professional dancer? Do you mean like stripper? Or like actual like Broadway dancer? I don't know. Probably not. I think I'd just become like a truck driver. I've talked about that before. I'm obsessed with like the truck driving lifestyle. I think it's pretty cool. How's your growth as a comedian been going? Must be a wild ride. It is pretty wild. Yeah, I'm pretty, I've gotten pretty fortunate with the opportunities I've had. Also, the only annoying thing about doing shows with Joe Rogan is that people think I'm like too good to do their shitty shows, but I like doing the shitty shows. Like, I want people to, like, I still want to open, like, I want to open for people. Someone was like, oh, Brian Callen. He asked me a while ago to open for him in San Francisco, but I was already opening for Santino that weekend in Sacramento, so I couldn't do it. And so then I saw him, like, last week, and I was like, I want to do another show with you. Like, next time you have a show out of town, like, I want to come. And he was like, but you're already doing the Joe stuff. And it's like, yeah, but I want to do other stuff. Because Joe's doing, like, arenas. Those are just unreal. I want to do, like, comedy clubs and, like, other spots. So that's the only bummer. But I'm sure that'll happen. Like, I'll still, I don't know. Yeah, it's just weird. Because I, like, it's like Hannah Montana. Or it's like I'm working 2 jobs. I'm, you know, doing these, like, random bar shows and back alley open mics. And then, like, 1 weekend out of the month, I'm doing this huge arena. It's just, like, this weird double life, it feels like. Where I get to do, like, the coolest thing ever. And then also, like, just the regular stuff that I would normally be doing. How do you keep getting hotter? Like, what the fuck? I just have my moments. I think I'm just, like, finally growing into myself. Because I used to be pretty fug. My acne's been so bad lately, though. But, yeah, I think I'm just, like, figuring out how to look like a functioning person. I think confidence also helps. If you had a time machine, where would you visit? Oh, fuck. I don't know. If I had a time machine, where would I visit? Maybe, like, maybe, oh, fuck, I don't know. Maybe, like, Cuba in the old days. I guess, but Cuba is, I think the reason I thought of that is because Cuba is still, like, in a time machine. Like, when you go there, everyone still is driving cars from, like, the 50s and stuff. I guess you don't need a time machine. You could just go to Cuba and it feels like you were time traveling. Okay, this is taking a turn. What's your favorite karaoke song? What's Up by 4 Non-Blondes or Super Bass by Nicki Minaj? But I kind of just go for anything at this point. I did Party Rock the other night. I thought it would be a fun, silly karaoke song. It's not good. It's not good to do. Would you be down for an open relationship? My guess is yes. I don't know. That would be tough. I think I would be down for me to be in an open relationship, but for whoever I'm with to only be loyal and faithful to me. That seems fair. Would you ever date someone that posted about you in Craigslist misconnections page? Yeah. There was one time I posted a misconnection once. I was driving on the freeway and there was what if this person was listening to the podcast and finally the misconnection came true? I don't even remember what this person looked like, but I was on the freeway. There was this super hot guy, and I should have gotten off the freeway when he got off, but we kept staring at each other in the car, and he was driving one of those old, like, it wasn't a VW, like, one of those old VW, like, wagon, big cars, but it looked like that. It might have been that. It was all white. It was, like, one of those old cars that, like, you know, surfers have, and, it had one sticker on it. It was a Dodger sticker. And he had, like, long brown hair. He was wearing a hat. And he was so hot. And I wrote a misconnections about him because we kept looking at each other. But then he fucking hopped off the freeway. And it was so annoying. And in the misconnections ad, I, like, wrote what exit he got off on. And I wrote, like, everything I could remember about him. And never heard anything back. But I don't think people assume that someone is crazy enough to write a misconnection. You know? What is this? Besides Jewel, LOL, are you sober? I mean, doing the Juul doesn't mean I'm not sober. Yeah, I don't drink or anything. Yeah, I haven't drank for almost 4 years. I'm kind of down. I'm like in a place right now where I like want to do psychedelics, but the timing has to be right. Because there's some people who just like do them so often where I'm like, this doesn't seem helpful. Because then that becomes like the base. That becomes your like minimum. Your normal. I'm down to do them though. It just has to be right. It has to be the right time. I don't want to just like do them just to do them. Skincare routine. It always kind of changes up. Right now I'm doing a lot and it's not, I don't know if it's my skincare routine that sucks or my diet that's making me break out or me just being a dumb bitch. I don't know what it is, but my skin's not doing well. I was on Accutane for a while, which is this pill that like gets rid of all your acne, and it worked, but now it's come back, which kind of happens. But Accutane is hardcore. You have to get your blood tested every month to make sure you can stay on it, because it can like, it like fucks with your body. Like, yeah, it fucks. You're not supposed to drink on it because it's bad for your liver. People like have suicidal thoughts when they're on Accutane, so they have to make sure you're like not going crazy on it. It's hardcore. Right now I'm using Drunk Elephant face wash. I'm using First Aid Kit exfoliant wipes. I'm using Drunk Elephant moisturizer. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of all over the place. I had my Juul and my sports bra at work. That sounds great. Your worst Halloween costume. I do good Halloween costumes. I was Guy Fieri like 2 or 3 years ago and I killed it. I was like a very convincing Guy Fieri. This year's Halloween costume is going to be so good. It's going to be really good. What's your first face tattoo going to be? Probably something small. Something small and like, I don't know. I would want to get a face tattoo, but that's such a commitment. Because then you're the face tattoo person. But if I did get one, it would be small. Okay. I don't really have much else to say. I'm going to be in London. I'm going to London in 2 weeks. So if you live in the UK or near the UK, come out and see me. I'll be posting all my shows soon. I have a show that's going to be, I'm pretty sure this is confirmed, so I will say it. This is the big one that I would like people to come out to. If you can't make it, come to another show. But on October 20th at 5:30 p.m. London time, I'm going to be doing an hour at the Bill Murray Theater, I think. I'll be posting about it, I'm sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going to be happening. And I'm probably going to have some of my favorite UK comics opening the show, so it'll be fun. So come to that, October 20th, the Bill Murray Theater in London. I'll be doing a long set, so come out to that. If you can't make that, I'm doing a bunch of spots while I'm there, and I will see you in the UK. That's about it. Until then, who do you want? Because I'm going to be pre-recording guest episodes. Who do you want me to have as a guest on the podcast that like I could get? Don't say Rogan or Santino. They're not doing my fucking podcast. They have better things to do. I might try and have Annie on again. But let me know what you think. I'm curious who you would want as a guest. Okay, I gotta go eat something. My stomach is growling. I'm hungry. Thanks for listening.
Can't tell.